Good morning, everyone. It's Laura here, and today we're going to be continuing working on this page. This is from the book Villain Son by Tomislav Tomic, and excuse me, I have a little bit of cold, but nothing to worry about. So if you hear that during the stream, I apologize. However, I did want to keep going on this. So last time we were working sort of, I think, all over the place. So I'm not really sure where I'm going to go today. We do have quite a bit of work left on this page. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm looking at it, and I think I want to work some more on both the big cat and also on the environment. So let's start out first with the cat, and we'll move around as we need to. So I'm going to grab a few colors that I think we might need. I'm working in the Prismacolor Premier color pencils. So, let's see here. Get my sharpener out. Here we go. That should do for this moment. This is the one I really want. Okay, so we are going to start. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus today. This will be fun. So we're going to start with, come on guy. Hey, well, it focused there for a second. Come on. I don't know. Here we go, 945 Sienna Brown. I'll get the hang of that at some point, hopefully. Well, we'll see though. Good morning, Shannon. Welcome. How are you doing this morning? So let's start out. I just want to continue to work on these wings. So I'm going to start out down here at the base, and let's zoom in. I'll try and stay in camera today. And this looks a little bit over saturated. Hold on, let me fix this. Yeah, there we go. Yep. That's more true to color. Yep. Okay. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're going to start here on the base of the wings, and we're just, oh, figures. Not used to working with a tip like that. So I'm going to create some more richness down here. Not worrying about the outlines at the moment. Now we will be getting rid of some outlines, but I have a tendency, especially on these pages, to not get rid of all of them. So we may find that, especially in the dark areas like the wings, we may not need to do that, but we'll see. What I do is I get the page where I really want it to be like pretty much completely finished, and then that's when I go in and sort of assess the outlines and where I want to kind of soften or hide things. And so you see I'm just using my pencil to create some more depth and darkness. Especially this part of the wing is going to be fairly dark. The light is coming from this direction, and so we have all of this stuff to filter through for the light to get there. So by the time it gets all the way over here at the back of these wings, down here at the bottom, it's going to be quite dark. Like, this might actually not be dark enough, but let's just start with this and we'll see where we're going. So I'm mostly using directional strokes in the stroke direction of the feathers themselves. Not worrying if you can see my pencil strokes. They kind of add a little texture to the wing. Let's see. Sleepy morning this morning. How you doing, Shannon? And welcome to my lurkers. You guys know I love you guys too. Thank you for coming. Alright. So we have gotten pretty far on this page. We're getting there, but I still have some things I'm seeing that I want to work on. So we're gonna just keep chugging along. You guys know at this point my pages do take quite a long time to finish. That's just how I am. So for those of you who have stuck through this entire series or who are watching it back at this point, I'm impressed. Thank you for watching. Okay, that's starting to look better already. Hi Elizabeth, welcome, good morning. Just hanging out, huh? Awesome, thanks for hanging out with me. Yep, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna want some more. Let me grab, here we go. So, let's see if we can focus this little guy. Let me turn on autofocus. So we've got 946 dark brown. Oh, he was focused there for a second. I don't know why this does this. Well, anyway, it's 946 dark brown. I do my best. I don't know what to tell you about that. You got this book for Christmas. Awesome, Elizabeth. Are you planning on coloring along on this page? That would be so cool if you do. Don't forget to tag me so I can like it and feature it. I saw another person working on this page. That was so cool. I love seeing what you guys do with my tutorials. I don't know, it just, there's something really amazing about that. Hi Vicky, welcome. Good morning. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I've been watching your videos back. Alright. Let's see. Alright, yeah. So this area here I'm also going to give some darkness to. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the, let's see if I can zoom in some more actually and can really see what I'm up to. There we go. So I'm doing both the top of this area and the bottom, just with some darkness, leaving a little bit of shine in the middle. Not a lot. And I'm pressing fairly hard at this point. We've got a bunch of layers of Prisma on this page. So we're going to begin to burnish. Just to get the color down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks a little bit more contrasty. I like that. I'm going to do the same thing to that side. And I'm going to use this same color. We're going to go in and do just right at that black outline. Let's soften that like so. So that way we just get a little bit more pop of contrast right in that dark, those dark areas there. Hope you guys can see this okay. Let's see, we've got some more hanging out. Hi Kenny, welcome. Good morning. You got your cup of coffee? And hi Heather. Hi sweetie, how are ya? I watched you back yesterday. You did an amazing job. Alright, so we have a whole bunch of people in there now. Thanks for coming, guys. Alright. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me and the kitty. And my real life kitty here, she was around here somewhere. Where are you? She's hanging out by the window. So the window in my bedroom is like right next to some gutters. Like you can see the gutters for the roof. And there's been a family of squirrels running up and down the gutters the past 2 days. I don't know if they're just bored or what. But Abby has been just so intrigued, just staring out that window. Really, really cute. Okay, so I'm going to create a little bit more just shadow right behind these. Okay, so we created some little shadows here, but now I'm going to sort of strengthen those. What I'm doing is I'm just taking my pencil and just flicking inward. So I'm not worried about it finishing or touching the edge here, but we're just sort of fading that pencil into the light area a little bit more, just to kind of, again, soften this dark outline, make it look more feathery. We're feathering, if you will. Sorry, bad pun. It's early. Okay, don't listen to me. You're just, you're working on your coffee. Great, Kenny. Let's see. Hi, Pauline. Welcome. Just gonna lurk around. No problem. Oh, you're down to just Monday and Friday for now, Heather. Alright. Whatever you want to do, honey. Or, oh, I'm sorry. I switched. Let's see. Can I get this thing to focus? At this point, debatable. But let's see. 945. We're switching back to Sienna Brown. Come on. Focus. Hey! 945. We did it. It's a rarity, I know. Alright, so we've got, hi Bo, welcome. Good morning. Hi Lulu, thanks for coming. Alright. Hello, hello. So what I'm doing now is, we have these feathers at the very end. I'm just shading the bottom half, so I'm leaving the top half the bare marker. And just shading, and again, I'm just using that flicking motion, not worrying about having it meet the very end of the wing there, but just sort of going in, giving a little more definition to it, making it seem a little bit more dimensional. I know feathers are pretty flat, but we still have. Okay, so this back wing, let me just really quick give it an overall separation. I want this wing and this wing to feel a little bit more separate than they do right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back here with this color and just sort of gently give those feathers a coat right around the edge. There we go. That just kind of pushes that wing back in space, separates it out. Okay. And now let's work on his back wing a little bit because he's looking a little bare. Hello, Bella. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Okay, so we're going to just go right under all of the different feathers. Again, doing the same thing that we did over here, we're going to do over here. Now, I will jump back to the other wing in just a moment, but let's just address the same spots on this wing. Now, this wing is slightly lighter. It's more in the light, but that's okay. So I'm just going to use this color to do the work that we used with the dark brown in the other wing. Alright, so we're getting there. So we're doing the same thing, just lightly feathering in the strokes for the bottom half of each little feather. Let's do that to these guys too. So even though feathers aren't super dimensional, they'll still have a little bit of shadow. That middle dividing line is where I'm stopping, because on a feather there's that little center, you know, I don't know what the official name of it is, but there's that center, like trunk, if you were to describe it like a tree, and where all of the little bits of feather fly off of, if you will. So that center line is where I'm sort of dividing these feathers. But it's really, I mean, these are so small that you don't need to go crazy with it. So you don't need a whole lot of detail, but just to sort of denote that. You see how here it's got that middle line? So we can use that, but even on the ones up here, I just sort of wanted to give a hint of that. Just to kind of make them feel more feathery. Let's see here. Oh, Kenny, you're an espresso machine. That sounds wonderful. I'll get some tea. I'll get a drink of tea. I've got green tea this morning. Me too, Lulu. I used to drink coffee, but don't anymore. I quit coffee a long time ago. It was very hard to do. I miss it. But that's how it goes. I quit smoking, and unfortunately my brain had linked the two together. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna have trouble quitting smoking because I'm drinking coffee, then I guess I'm gonna have to quit coffee too. So that's just how it went, unfortunately. And now even though I've quit smoking now for over 11 years, every time I have coffee ice cream or I drink coffee, it still gives me a little bit of the nicotine fit I used to get. Oh. Hi, Abs. Are you coming up? That's not for you. I think we're going to have a kitty invasion in just a moment, so let me zoom out just so you guys don't get seasick. Are you coming over here or no? Nope. Oh, never mind. My bad. Still obsessed with the squirrels. She's like that one doggy in that movie, Squirrel? You know? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. We love you, Abs. She's right over there, though. Okay. Yeah, 11 years. So I'm not gonna go back to that. So I would rather just drink my tea. But I do miss coffee, I will admit. Yeah, that was a long time ago. And unfortunately, I was at an age where they knew smoking was bad, but they didn't really promote it that much when I was growing up. And my mom was a smoker. So unfortunately, my sister and I both started smoking. I started smoking in a bar while I was drunk, so that was just stupid. But I was really young when I started. And I quit about 2 years after that because I just didn't like how it made me feel. But yeah, that was tough. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do. That stuff is no joke. So, yep. But I'm glad I did though, because I don't think Mark would be with me if I was still a smoker. He is not, so. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately my mom and my sister still smoke. I'm the only one that seemed to get away. They've both tried though several times, so maybe one time they'll be able to do it. It is, for all you ex-smokers out there, you'll know it's one of the hardest things out there you ever have to do. So don't start if you haven't. It's a pain in the butt. Okay. I getcha. You can't live without coffee. Good morning, Jacqueline. Welcome. Alright, I'm glad you guys like the kitty cat. We're getting there. So you see, I'm just working on these wings. So I left the bottoms empty for right now, but I think I'm gonna, not for long, I'm gonna feather in this color just along the edges, especially. So we're gonna only leave a little tiny bit of that wing with the bare marker that we put down originally, and that's just under that center line, because you've got the overlap of these big wings from the wing above it. So that's what this shadow is all about, this one right here. But then we've also got the slight roundness. So the only one that doesn't get that shadow on the top of it is of course that top wing, where there's no wing above it. Alright, we're getting there, guys. Now these still look a little too light for me. Just in general, just feeling a little bit too much brightness there. So at this point my page is starting to saturate with Prismas down there, but it's brilliant how you can layer Tombows over Prismacolors as well. So let me grab a color from my Tombows. I'm going to show you how even if you're, even if you're starting to saturate the page with the Prismacolors, you can still use your markers. Let's see about a little too light. I love doing this. This also blends the markers really well. I mean, blends the pencils. I'm thinking about this guy. We used that one before. Oh, here, let me grab my, here we go, my chart. So this is 947. Yep, that's the color I'm looking at. And actually, let me grab another one too, 969. Where's that one? Oh, that's, ooh, or this one, this one. This one will actually be better. Okay. So I have two browns here. We'll see which ones we need, but I'm going to start with my 947. Awesome. What are you coloring, Lulu? So here's, oh, come on. Let's see. Oh, I got to put autofocus on. There we go. So this is, well, it might not focus again. That was like a momentary, here we go. This is 947. I know it's a little scratched off. I've been using this one. Alright. So we have these wings down here. Now, this is a really dark brown. I'll show you the swatch just so you can kind of get a sense of it. So it's this color here. So if you go over it more than once, you get a darker color. This is one swipe, and that's several swipes. So we're going to try to be quick and precise with our movements now at this point, because we don't want to, unless we want more than one stroke. But what I'm going to try and do here is just kind of get more definition, especially with the tip. So I'm going to just start and show you what I mean. So I'm going to start down here, and if you go over it more than once, it gets darker. So that's a great property. And you can see that it will kind of just blend that Prisma right in. Now, my key with doing this is you want to definitely clean off the tip of your marker when you're done doing this, because if you don't, then the wax, if you leave it on there, the wax the next time around will kind of give you a hard time to use it. So just sort of creating even more depth where we need to. And I'm making sure not to run my hand over the marker. There is a slight resist going on, but not much. So the marker will take a moment to dry. So they're not drying immediately like they used to. Okay. So we use the marker as a base. You can also use the marker as an end finishing touches thing. Okay, so now to kind of define these wings a little bit more, Lulu, I'm working in Villain San. So Tomislav has two books. He has Zemla Snova, which is I have that other book as well. It's gorgeous. But this is his smaller one, the second one. This is Villain San. They both have a lot of birds and musical instruments, but this is what the cover looks like here. I'm not gonna press the page down, don't worry. This is what the cover looks like. I don't know if it's the same one. It's the one you have. Oh, it's a different language version. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know the other translations. I'm sorry. Okay, so now I'm also just gonna go right along the edge. Just not quite dark enough, and I'm concerned about trying to overdo the wax and it getting really over burnished. So you can see now I'm just sort of working in this marker, just gentle touch, just kind of putting some quick strokes. Right along the edge where the two wings meet. The two feather lines rather meet. I'm also going to put a little bit more of this just up here. So what I love about these markers is they are so versatile. People, you don't have to use them alone solely. You can accent your pencil pages with these. And they just work so beautifully. But again, just using the properties of the marker to our benefit here. They're streaky, but here you can see I'm just doing quick little lines. So the streakiness is not an issue. So just learning how to use them, I think, is the key there to that. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of the same thing over here, but not as much. It's getting closer to the light now, so we can kind of be a little bit more lighter touch with that. So mostly just going right along the edges of the feathers here. Oh my. Got the dogs in the neighborhood all riled up. Something out there. Maybe the squirrels. Those squirrels are just, this neighborhood, they've got like these like kamikaze squirrels that just go crazy in the wintertime. Does anybody else have crazy squirrels in their neighborhood? Okay. No, Joey. So what's great is as long as you let it dry, they don't rub off. I did this on the Mouse Rider page. It works great. So you can see it's still a little bit wet, so I'm just going to move it to the side, and I'm going to clean off my marker. And how I clean off the marker, it's really, really easy. I just take it and scribble and rotate the marker while I'm doing that. And you can kind of feel the tip restore. There we go. Yep. And you won't see the wax on the tip, especially not with this dark color, but I would just scribble around until you feel it kind of, it changes texture a little bit. It goes from a little bit like slick to more resistant. Or if you're not sure, just scribble around until, like, for a minute or two, and until it is completely scribbled. I don't know how to explain, but yeah, it's going to, let's see, is it dry yet? Not quite yet, so I'm gonna wait. It only takes a little bit to dry, and once it's completely dry, you can touch it, close the book or whatever. I did that on, oh, it's in my other book. Hold on, I'll grab that while this is drying. I'll zoom out just so you guys can see the page on the opposite side. So this is the other book. We were just talking about it. So this is Zemlis Nova, and let me just move this out of the way just so he can dry in peace. Dry in peace. And this is the page that I did this to. I actually used both Tombow's over Prismas and also the Staedtler fine liners over the Prismas, and the page opposite doesn't have any marker on it at all, even though it's been rubbing up against it now for over a year. So it's fantastic. And you can see, of course, the page on the other side is fine. So these markers are great in double-sided books like this. I would never use a Copic marker in this kind of book, especially if you want to color the page on the back, which I do. I like this page a lot. So yeah, I just love the Tombows. I think they're really, really awesome for coloring books like this. So it doesn't work for everything, of course. For smooth big areas like a big face, I usually don't reach for my Tombows, but you can also water them down and use them like watercolor if you want to. There's a lot of ways that you can use these markers. They are so versatile. So yeah, I'm just showing you a little bit of the ways that you can use them. Okay, so I think, let's see here, those wings are still drying a little bit. Thank you, Vicky. I'm glad you like it. Oh, thanks, Shannon. Thanks for the links. Shannon is on it today. Okay, let's see. I'm just reading the chat a minute. Hi, Louise. Welcome. Oh, enjoy your day off. Oh, pan pastels. I need to work with those some more again. Okay. So I'll just let that dry for a minute, and while the wings are drying, I kind of want to stay away from that area. So I'm going to work down here. Let's work down here on the branch while we're letting that set. So let me zoom back in. Okay, so we left this branch pretty much alone, just because we were working out a lot of it, and the light here is going to be quite dramatic. We have all of this tiger in brightness. So before we get going on the branch, actually, let me show you guys. No, wait. I'm jumping around. Sorry. We'll do the light in just a moment, but let's work on this branch. Let's stick with the plan, Laura. Come on. All right. We'll do the other bit later, I think. Okay, so swapping to 946 dark brown. Excuse my voice. Hold on, let me take a quick drink. Okay, so right down here underneath the paw is going to get quite a bit of darkness here, so let's just do that right away. And since the light is coming from this way, we already established a little bit of the shadow. Let's deepen the very center, and what I'm going to do is when I go over the vine, I'm going to go whoop and create sort of like a half moon. And now going so you can see that shadow. We're just taking into consideration the volume of that little vine when we're creating a shadow. Now I'm softening it out, but that just gives it dimension. Okay, so that's helping a lot. Now in order to soften this transition here, I'm taking this pencil and just softly flicking up in the direction of the texture. Let's soften out that transition between the two colors and also darken up some of the lines where, you know, Tomislav has given us like little dots as a guide. So let's just go ahead and use those. So this tricky spot we've been leaving go, but now I think it's time to get going on it. So I'm leaving some of the bare marker. I don't know what this little spot is, but I'm just gonna make it like a little indentation there. There we go. So just filled it in. And so if you're not sure what something is, just make something up. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so we've just given a little bit of transition and softness to that spot. Now let's go in here. This is like a knot of a tree or something. What I'm doing is I'm softening those dark outlines with this pencil. Kind of reminds me of a turtle's back, but not really. Now, right here in the center, I'm going to just darken that. And also, where this overhang is going to cast a shadow down into that knot, I'm also putting more color. And right behind it and below it. So just taking into consideration all the lighting that's going on here. This line will create more of a shadow. So let's just put that in. So below and to the left. The little leafy bit there. Alright, getting there. So we've left very little of the original marker, but it has this different color. This is a little warmer, this is a little cooler. So I want to go in with, see here, I'm reaching for my marker bag again, guys. Let's look at my color chart really quick. I think I'm going to use what I used before. 991 looks like, yeah, this guy. So I'm going to grab my 991, which is light ochre, and I'm just going to go gently over this in just some spots. This is going to warm it up. And I'm not worried about doing it everywhere. I'm doing really light strokes and using the direction. Now, this here is not saturated with wax, so this is going to sink in really quickly. But this just warms it up, makes it really, really come together here. You can see now how the transition between that that part of the branch is no longer really apparent. And now, just to kind of tie this together more, I'm going to use this color in just a few spots right around the big cat. He's going to reflect some color from his coat. Not much, because again, you know, tree bark is really, really dark and textured, so it won't catch a whole lot of that, but just to give it some extra oomph, if you will. Okay, so again, I'm going to scribble. Not as much wax on here, I can just feel it, so we're good. Okay. So just scribble away. And now that doesn't look so harsh or weird. Let's see, we've got 10 minutes left. Hi Nanimo, welcome. Okay, see you later, Vicky. Thanks for popping in. Hi Kathy, welcome. Oh, you won the Carolina Coupe. Okay, I'm not gonna try and say that. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what a Laura quote. I don't know what you guys were talking about up there, but let's see. Is this dry to the touch? Yay! Okay, good. So I'm not going to smear that anymore. Okay, so the last thing I want to do in today's stream, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit for this, just so that we can get an overall view of the image. I have here a ruler. I don't know if you guys remember, but at the start of this, I said I wanted to do some light effects. A lot of you have asked me how I do these light beams. Well, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I'm going to show you one way. So, what I'm going to do, and that's why I needed this dry up here. So I have a clear ruler, which is nice. It helps me see where I'm going with this. So I'm going to take this and a white Prismacolor, and I'm just going to really gently, I do not want to press hard here. We're not creating a huge beam of light, just something quick. So I'm going to stop here at the shoulder. The reason why is the light beam will be blocked. Okay, but let's see where that goes. Okay, so we've got that going just to kind of strengthen and solidify that. Now I'm going over other colors. Okay, and now let's put the end of the beam of light is going to go right here. And this is a subtle effect, guys, so we don't need to press super hard. So I'm going over everything. Now if you find that this is not bright enough for you for whatever reason, I kind of like it, it's subtle. You can do this so many different ways, but you could also use the I'll show you in just a moment. We can do a brighter spot, but the Derwent Chinese white is, I found, the brightest white, so you could use that as well. I love the misty effect that this Prisma gives, though. And now all of that brightness in his body makes sense because we've gone ahead and brightened up the background, made it less saturated. Okay. So now just right along the edges, just to strengthen it, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let's grab my Derwent drawing Chinese white. Where is he? I also have the white charcoal pencil. We can try that as well. So let's see here. Yep, here we go. So this is the Chinese white. This is the Derwent. Oh, will it focus? Of course not. There we go. The Chinese white. This is by Derwent Drawing. And just to kind of solidify this edge, now I'm not pressing super hard, I don't want it to be so bright. This is more opaque, more bright than the other, than the Prisma. And let's just see, this is the tinted charcoal. Yeah, that gives an even brighter, although I think at this point we actually have too much wax on the page. Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna leave that. So you can use either one of those as well. But I, for whatever reason, I really like the way the Prisma works, so I'm going to switch back to my Prisma White, that's 938, and just sort of add little extra beams. So you can use a ruler for this as well. I just feel confident about doing it straight. So we just want to create some atmosphere. This is a little dark right there. So let's see here. Yeah, let's do a little bit of this background too. Just creating new beams in the background. Doesn't have to be exact. This creates a lot more contrast between the cat and that forest back there. There's still a lot of texture and you can see it. But now he looks like he's stepping out into the light instead of just being a little bit brighter there. So I hope that you guys can see this okay. I hope the camera's picking it up. Yeah, Chinese white is really great. Yeah, Bella, it's like a sunbeam. I hope that it comes across. Anytime cake, okay. Yeah, I'm an anytime cake girl as well. Okay, so yeah. So just doing some, now I'm gonna do a little beam out here. You know, just having some fun with this. I've done these beams of light now several times in different ways. I found this to be the easiest way if you want a subtle beam. So much fun. I don't know why I like doing them so much, but it is what it is. Okay. There we go. Oh, you're welcome, Nanamo. I'm glad they're helpful. Okay, so oh, Bella, well that's alright. You'll have plenty of Christmas books for next year. But I think you can color Christmas anytime you feel like. There's no rules in coloring. So, let's see, we're coming up on our time here. So what can I do really quick? I kind of want to leave the rest for next time. Well, here, just to kind of, I know what we can do. Hold on. So I'm grabbing my, let's see if this will focus. 908 dark green. And just to kind of solidify that sense of bright and dark even more, what I'm going to do, let's just really quick, yeah. Alright, so zoom in just a bit, just so I have it more. So right here, right around here, I'm going to actually go over everything. I know we've got branches and stuff, but that's okay. The jungle can cast a green glow on things anyway. So I'm just going to solidify that line a little bit better. See that there? I'm going to do the same right here. Just kind of gives it, so right outside that beam of light, we're just coloring this dark green just to give it a more clear definition. So it's so much fun to do these lighting effects. Once you realize there's not much to them, they're not scary anymore. So much fun. Oh my gosh. There we go. And maybe let's put a little hole there, kind of. I think the key with this is just being real gentle. Don't go overboard with it. It can quickly become too harsh. So we just want to be real subtle with it. Use a light touch and lots of layers with this color. But yeah, the contrast helps a lot. There we go. That looks better. And actually, so let's create another lighting effect, which is really fun. So right under the tiger's chin, we'll actually break up some of that light. So just right below the tiger, his jawline here. And now I'm feathering it out because there will be some light going on in the background there. But let's just pretend like he's blocking some of that light. So we're just going to create some diagonal strokes in the same direction as those beams, right below that tiger's, or kitty's. That's not a tiger, I don't know why I keep doing that. Like that. So I hope you guys can see this. Like that. So he's blocking some light, creating some like that. So there we go. Oh, Heather has a question. What's your question? Let me read up. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mons. Okay, question. The white from Pan Pastels depends on, so Heather, it would depend on whether or not you have a lot of wax. See, I had some layers of pencil on this, and I have not experimented with putting Pan Pastel over wax-based pencil. So that would be an experiment that I would try before doing it. I think as long as there's some paper tooth, I don't see why not. But if you've mashed the paper tooth down, then I think there's nothing for that Pan Pastel to adhere to anymore. So I think you might end up with a hot mess. But I would experiment with that. I have very little experience with Pan Pastel, but I know that it would work over the marker. So if you just put the marker base down and didn't use wax-based pencils over the marker, then I'm like 90%, 95% sure that the Pan Pastel would just be totally fine. But I don't have a whole lot of experience using Pan Pastel. I wish I could answer that more definitively for you. But I just know pastel requires some paper tooth, so that would be my answer. So yeah, there's so many ways to go about achieving this effect. I did a video a long time ago in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly where I just left the paper lighter. Like I put in the lines at the beginning and worked around them. I thought this would be a fun method to show you guys as another alternative to that. So yeah, there's so many different ways that you can approach that effect. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, definitely. And let us know if you find out, Heather. I do have pan pastels, but at this point I'm pretty happy with how this is looking, so I'm not going to go ahead and mess with it on this page. But that is an experiment for another day. If you want me to, I can demo that in another stream, though. But I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. Yeah, I think it all depends on what layers. See, I have a lot of wax on this page already, so I don't know if it'll work. But it is worth a shot. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you like it. So next time we're going to continue working on this. It's not quite finished yet, but we are getting closer now. Let's just zoom out so you guys can see the whole page. I really need to do my homework on the frame, so I should do that this week as well. Let me write that down actually so I don't forget. And yeah, so if nobody else has another question, that was a great question though, Heather. Thank you guys for coming. I love streaming with you. And thank you, Kenny and Shannon, for modding for me. You guys are amazing as always. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Lulu. Alright, I'll do a shout out before we get going. We've got Heather. We've got Kathy and Robin. Hi, Robin. We've got Shannon, of course, and Bella, Lulu, Heather. Oh, I said Heather already. Sorry. Nana Mo. Who else is here? No, Bella, it's not quite finished yet. We still got some time on it. Hi, Dorothy. Thanks for coming. Working and lurking, that's just fine with me. I totally get it. I do the same thing. Excuse me. Let's see. I think that's all I see in the chat right now. Thanks, Louise. Thank you for coming. Alright, guys, so next time we're going to do some finishing touches, and we will probably start, hopefully soon, on the black outlines. So that's the final stage of this particular page, and then we will choose another page and go on with another whole stream series. So I'm thinking about that. This book has been really popular, so I'm thinking about picking something in Zemla Snova, which is his other book, but I am taking suggestions for other books. You can find my stream where I did all of my coloring books. That's a couple months back. You can find that in my channel. So if you're looking for that, like for what I have or whatever, you can check that stream out. And I think, thank you, Bella. I'm glad you like it. Oh, I'm sorry. Rain had a question. Thanks, Emmy. Hi, Emmy. Rain had a question. Where? Rain. I'm totally missing it. Oh, how do I know when I'm finished? Ha! That is a good question. Right now I see a lot of areas that I want to work on more. So that's how I know I'm not finished. I know I'm finished when I look at a page and nothing screams fix me. So right now I have a couple of things that scream fix me, and that's what I go off of basically. As far as overworking goes, I do that sometimes. Not as much lately. So what I do is I work on something until it um, no longer calls out for needing more attention, I guess. And I know that's a really tough answer to hear, because there's no real formula for that, but I think it's a sense that you get over time, um, you know, with more experience and just if after you've colored for a while, you could get a sense like when you're tired of a page and when you're no longer enjoying it, I put it down. If it's not finished when that phase happens, it becomes a work in progress, which is fine. I have plenty of whips. And then I pick it up when I feel the urge again, and it's finished when I look at it and I don't see anything that I want to change. So that's my honest answer. I'm sorry that there's not a better, there's no definitive point or anything like that, but I hope that sort of helps a little bit. Yeah, Joanna, it is now an hour in. I've been keeping this series to an hour each. That was a request from one of my viewers. It's easier to break these long series up into 1 hour streams. So that's how we've been doing this particular series. However, I will be back later this week. I have another Lunch with Laura planned, so we'll see if I can get to it. I have so many requests, guys. You guys have so many great questions and things you want to see. So my request list is getting really long, so I'm going to try and jump on stream again sometime this week, either tomorrow or Thursday most likely, but it all is up in the air depending on my client schedule and my meetings. So depending on that, I'll just have to see what the best time is for these for another live stream. But I can say that it is a collaboration with another illustrator that I've never worked with before, and she and I are doing a duet color along kind of thing where we're both coloring each other's work. So it's going to be super fun. I've never done this before with another illustrator, and yeah, so I will reveal more about that either tomorrow or Thursday. So you guys are going to see a lot of me in this new year because I just have so many requests. I cannot just do 1 or 2 streams a week anymore. I'll never get it all done. So thank you all so much for coming. You're still on your first sip of coffee. I mean, well, thank you for coming though. And hi, Emily. Oh, that's all right. I'll be back later. That's all right, guys. And yeah, I'll be back next week at 8 a.m. for another episode of this page. So stay tuned. We've got so many things going on, and I have so many streams. So yeah, super exciting. Okay, thank you guys so much. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.